What do you remember from that night, Mr. Redgrave? I remember the sirens. I remember my mother screaming. I said while laying out back first on a couch, trying not to fall asleep. I don't remember much from that night, but I remember the last thing my mother ever said to me before she was dragged away into an insane asylum. What did she say, Mr. Redgrave? You idiots! Don't you people see what he is? He's nothing but the spawn of the devil himself. He's going to destroy this world. And once that day comes, it will be too late to do a damn thing about it. That was the only thing I remember from that night. I said, remembering the pain from that night. It was a familiar pain. The pain of losing both parents as a child. My father leaving me after my birth, my mother trying to murder me. It was one of the hardest things to go through as a child. Do you remember anything that happened after that night? He said, while writing down notes in his journal. Well, a few months after that night, I got adopted by the Redgraves. They are a family of demon hunters that have been around for generations, and they taught and gave me all the skills that I now use to succeed in my profession today. They are good people, and I see them as my true family. The therapist gave me a confused look after I said that. So, what is your profession exactly? He said, still sounding confused. Well, people sometimes hire me to take out their demon problems, I said in a joking way. So, you're an exterminator for demons? The therapist asked. Something like that. The therapist started to laugh. Hey, Doc, what's so funny? I said, genuinely wondering what was so funny to him. Was it something I said? It's nothing, said the therapist with a distorted looking smile on his face. Tell me more about the family who adopted you. As I said before, they taught me everything I know. They told me I was the most skilled one out of anyone in the family. I killed my first demon at the age of 12 and went out on my own at 15. I said while the therapist was continuing to write the novel of the story I'm telling him in his journal. And you want to know what else they told me? The therapist put down his pen and closed his journal. What else did they tell you, Mr. Redgrave? They also told me that my dad's the devil. What do you mean by that? You know, Satan, Lucifer, the Prince of Darkness. I could tell the therapist was at a loss for words. Did your mother ever talk about him? She sometimes talked about him, normally negatively towards him. The therapist started to get angsty. Like what? The therapist said. Like what? All my mother ever told me about him was that he was a drunk that didn't care about his family, so he just got up and left one day. Not your typical father of the year. Don't ever talk about His Excellency like that. I sat up instantly. Oh, did I touch a nerve there? I said. Now, you see here, Mr. Therapist guy, I'm not here for my routine meets. I'm here on work-related business. I started to get up, very slowly. A little birdie told me that there have been many disappearances happening lately, and they all trace back to this exact place. The therapist then started to get up out of his chair. I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Redgrave. I can assure you, nothing bad ever happens here, he said. I could practically see that he was lying. Want to hear something funny? I said, with maybe the biggest smile on my face. What? I was never paying the blame towards you. The therapist looked down the ground, smiling, and then started to laugh. You know, your father sent me here, he said, thinking to get a reaction out of me. Oh, I know he did. I'm sending you back to him. He then started to change into a very big, very hairy, and very ugly demon. You think you can stop me? I have killed thousands from this world, he said in a dark and gravelly voice. You won't even be a challenge. I then got I then got up out of the chair, ready to beat this giant ugly thing like all the others before him, ready to send him back to my father. I then pulled up my twin revolvers and put them on top of one another. Okay then, I said, while spinning my revolvers and putting them on top of each other. This might actually be worth my time. He then lunges out at me with his giant claws. I dodge out of the way, seeing I still have all my body parts. He lunges at me again, landing on me and tries to bite my head off. We both know how this is going to end, he said, trying to get a hit on me. Yeah, it ends with you dead. What? I got under him by shooting him in the eye. I saw that he scratched me on my shoulder. Okay, I said, grabbing my sword I like to call the rebellion. Now you're dead. And I read it so I could finish the job. Then I get a few good slashes at him, and finally finish him off by stabbing him in the chest. Well, Doc, sorry I had to end things so early, but I have to get to my money. You have to see my dad and explain to him for the millionth time why one of you guys failed to kill me. Again, I said, getting my coat while walking out the door. Oh, and one more thing, I said. What do you want? He said in his dying breaths. Tell your boss his son, Tony Redgrave, says hello.